And then
a lot's happened since yesterday.
I was thinking about back in the day when I used to work out and stuff like that. I used to spar. And I was thinking about this one time, and I was in really good shape at the time. And,
like spar boxing?
You know,
like boxing?
Yeah, I was sparring with some friends and stuff like that, but kickboxing kind of sparring was more martial arts based. Because, you know, I studied and stuff like that, and I know you studied. And I was a big fan of both Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Segal. They were huge for me as far as their presence, and I think that was it. Their presence and the way they executed their art. You know what I mean? There's guys out there that can do the same things they do, but they just had something special about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was going to ask you, because at the same time, I also love the tough guy movies that may not have anything to do with martial arts. What's your favorite? Are you more into like tough guy action movies, or are you into like martial art movies? Real martial artists and stuff like that.
Dude, that's a tough one. Just because, like, there's so many really good karate and martial art movies, especially like in the 80s and, you know, when all those guys, but then you go back into like Rambo, and they weren't necessarily martial artists. They were good fucking movies. And those seem to stand the test of time more than just martial art movies. I've noticed that though, because martial art movies kind of, you get a few sequels, you know, but it depends. Usually straight martial arts.
Let's face it, martial arts movies are like horror movies. They're a dime a dozen. Man.
Yeah.
At one time, especially, they were just like cranking them out like McDonald's.
Oh, the 80s, man. The 80s was the martial arts screams.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was just like every Saturday is like, wow, wow. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, well, shit then.
The airstrikes.
I think it's funny. I think if I look back on the stuff that I watched the most, I would have to say my favorites were probably the martial arts movies. Like, because if I look at my favorite actors, you're right. They're usually the martial arts guys. And like you said, I remember Van Damme as far back as No Retreat, No Surrender. I don't even know if that was his first movie, but I remember going, I wanted the bad guy to win.
We should look that up. It probably was.
No Retreat, No Surrender. Hang on.
Yeah. I would put money on it.
Yeah, I think
No Surrender, No Surrender, No Retreat was his first movie. Because, like I said, he played a bad guy.
No Retreat, No Surrender. First thing that comes up. Now
No Retreat, No Surrender. Okay, I think I said it the wrong way.
86.
All right.
5.7 out of 10.
Check him out. We should watch. We should see him fights the dude. This is fucking so cool. It's epic, actually. He's kind of stiff in this movie, I thought, but at the same time, he's like got these crazy freaking like legs that go anywhere he wants them to, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, check this out. It's pretty badass, actually.
Can you hear this?
Our Russian brother.
I can hear it. Look,
your most feared martial artist.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Krasinski!
Ivan Krasinski. Dude, listen to those punching sounds.
Full contact karate, the world's deadliest game, being kicked apart by the
Yes.
Soviet Union. With only one man left to
That's right.
Jason Stillwell.
You've been fighting again. So what? You know how I feel about fighting.
Oh, I can't remember what happened to his leg.
Yeah, I did. You're scared to death of it.
Jason believed in the way of the dragon.
The way of the
others
dragon.
didn't.
Eat me up? Don't worry. I'm nobody's blood.
Oh!
Now you force my hand.
Oh,
An example must be made.
look at this guy.
You see?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, that's what happened to his leg. Bruce, you have to. What happened?
Oh, I forgot about that. He had
Holy
like the spirit of
shit.
Bruce Lee or some shit.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Oh no! Look at him. Check him out. Oh. Oh. Look at that. He wasn't kidding around.
Look at this.
Oh.
Yes.
He's got the ice.
Dude, I need to get one of the walls back there.
Isotone. We need this, bro, before we start the show.
Wait, is it? Kissing him in the nuts. That's fucked up, dude.
No Retreat, No Surrender is a martial arts masterpiece. Never.
He called it a masterpiece. Oh.
Dude, are you gonna show the whole fucking
no.
movie? Dude, you son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Hit him, now he's gonna kill everybody. Van Damme's gonna go time cop on them all.
Damn. He's not kidding around. Look at him.
You're good. I get better.
That sounded oddly sexual.
Oh no. Look at this dude.
Oh yeah, that's what turned it on, bro. Look at that.
Produced by ALHSY, the creator,
Ah!
and directed by Corey Yuen, a superb action choreographer.
This is like the coming attraction.
No
I was gonna say, is
was
this-
Jason Stillwell's bottom line?
What the?
Dude, I guess they
If
show.
that was like the coming attraction. After that, you're just like you're done.
Like we legit don't even have to fucking. We don't even
I'm gonna
have to
finish this popcorn.
Well,
and just,
spoilers, everybody. You saw the movie. Shit.
Like, mosey
I
on
mean,
into the
are we
next
allowed to
theater.
show the whole fucking movie? Like, I didn't expect that. Damn.
I know.
I thought trailers in the 2000s were bad. Holy fuck. They even showed him kick Van Damme in the face. That was the ending of the fucking movie. They're like, spoilers, he wins. It's like, Jesus.
Oh man, that's pretty.
And
funny,
I have
dude.
to say, Van Damme is still up there for me.
Yeah.
But masterpiece?
Well, for that movie,
That trailer was a masterpiece. I'll tell you that right now.
I was thinking hot mess, but okay. That works.
Wait, hang on. We
That
never
works.
found out if it was actually his first movie. Was
Oh,
no.
that's right. Yeah.
Why did it go to Yahoo? Retreat, no surrender.
Oh boy. Here we go. Well, I think if you look it up, it'll say, as far as like Von Damme, if you just look him up, look up under movies or something. Well, I don't know. You know how to do this shit better than I do, dude. There it is.
Released in the United States, 86. Jason Stillwell. He learns martial arts from the spirit of Bruce Lee. My mind completely shut out that entire fucking fact.
Yeah. Same here, bro. I forgot too.
Yeah, like
I didn't think about it. I get, those movies get so like mixed up for me, like Best of the Best, and you know what I mean? Best of the Best 2, and you know what I mean? It's like Karate Kid, and No Retreat, No Surrender. It's just like they all kind of get mixed in together with each other, but and so does the body of a lot of other work of the martial arts.
Yeah.
Guys, but what else are you going to do? Because I mean, there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean?
Wait, here it says Van Damme was cast, right? On the set, he roundhouse kicked Pete Cunningham to the face and knocked him out.
What?
Yep, it says right there, rendered him unconscious. Actor and martial artist Timothy Baker stated that while working with Van Damme during the action scenes on the set, the production manager and director Corey Yuen instructed him not to make contact with the other actors and stuntmen. Despite continuous warnings, Van Damme continued to do so with his kicks to Baker during the film. So he's just like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna whoop these guys. Other actors and martial artists claimed Van Damme had not been reckless with his physical contact. His control wasn't such as mine, but I had no complaints. Interesting.
Well, I know he had a few lawsuits against him.
From that movie?
I think one of them was for that Cyborg movie
How
that
come?
he made.
For the same reason?
Huh? I think I don't know. It's kind of somewhat of a rumor, so I'm not really sure. I never really looked into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But supposedly he roundhouse kicked one of the actors, and the guy lost an eye or some shit. I don't know. Maybe it was something different. Maybe it was
I am
knocked the
sorry,
tooth
I
out or
knocked
something.
your eyeball out. I can't do a Van
Yeah,
Damme very
if
well.
if he lost an eye, then I could see
Yeah,
why
yeah,
he would sue
legit,
him. But
legit.
you know,
God damn. Oh yeah,
this
Van
even
Damme
he
was the
knocked
real
his
deal,
teeth
dude.
out.
He was like,
No,
I'm
he
not
was.
an actor. I'm gonna knock your teeth down your throat. I'll learn acting later. And they were like, okay, we'll pay you lots of money.
Well, I mean, yeah, he had to get. I mean, he had the whole package, right? So, you know what I mean. The guy was a fairly good-looking guy. You know what I mean? He's young. He's got a great build. I mean, honestly, as far as builds go, as far as bodybuilding goes, I'd have to say that Van Damme pretty much is right up there with like the perfect physique, because he wasn't too big and he wasn't too small.
Yeah.
You know, he was like right dead center in the middle. And I guess he claims to be about 5'10". I don't know if that's true or not, but
Don't they all?
you know, I know, right?
Yeah.
It seems to be the going thing, isn't it? I think Stallone claims to be 5'10". Chuck Norris does. And I know
Van Damme does.
Van Damme does.
Like pretty much the entire cast of the
Well,
Expendables
no,
is 5'10".
Steven,
No.
yeah, Steven, I know, right? Steven Segal is tall. He's like 6'4", supposedly, and you can tell he is. You know, but I mean, even then you start going into the people that actually admit their heights. Like Bruce Lee, I guess, was like 5'7", which is actually not that short for a person of Asian descent, I don't think. Although there are very large stature people in the Asian community, I just don't think it's the average. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I think for the most part, he was fairly tall at that, especially at that time.
Yeah.
For an Asian actor, because I saw a lot of the movies that he made, you know, in China. They weren't American-made films, and a lot of the actors that he was fighting, you know, or they were acting alongside of him, they were smaller, they were shorter than him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. I've heard rumors that Stallone is not 5'10", that he's closer to like 5'7". I don't know. But lifts are amazing.
I was gonna say he pimping them lifts. Yo, I like the cowboy.
So, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you prefer the tough guy, or do you prefer the martial arts guy? Do you prefer watching Jeff Speakman kick somebody's ass, or do you prefer
Jeff
watching
fucking
Clint kick
Speakman?
somebody's ass?
Holy crap!
Yeah,
The Perfect Weapon.
yeah, that was a badass movie.
For those of you who have not seen The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman, you're missing out on a relatively good time.
No,
What happened to that dude though? Like he was huge. Like I remember going to. I think we went and saw that movie at the theater, and then I don't remember him really doing anything after that.
Yeah, The Perfect Weapon. Honestly, I felt like that was at, you know, when it came out, I felt like it was right up there, comparable to pretty much all of the other action. And I'm going to go out there and say A-list action, martial arts based action movies that were out at the time. Like a lot of the stuff that Van Damme was doing. I don't know how active Chuck Norris was at that moment. Probably, I think he's been active since.
He's been active for a while because
Since the world was created or something. So yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Let's simplify this before we go into whether or not you prefer a badass.
I'm gonna say right now, I don't know that I can say I have a preference over there. I can't say I like martial arts movies over badass movies. I think those, in terms of that category, I have to put those equal. Because in
the beginning of this podcast, you said, and you can rewind it later and double check. And if I'm wrong, you know what happens. Remember the safe word. Anyway,
Kopfgeschlagen.
no, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I think I remember you saying that the action films, the tough guy action films, usually make a bigger impact than the martial arts.
I do believe that. I think they stand the test of time bigger. As far as my personal favorites, I originally said, remembering back, I would go with martial arts. But the more I think back, I'm like, I loved Karate Kid, but then I turned around and watched Rambo. And then I turn around and watched Ninja Turtles, but then I turn around and watched fucking Indiana Jones, you know, and it was just like.
So what made more? What do you think? What do you think made more money? What movie made more money? Enter the Dragon or Rocky?
Oh, Rocky. I think Rocky had a bigger impact overall.
How about Rambo versus Enter the Dragon? What would you say?
Are we talking like we can look at gross figures if you want to find it out, but I think
Let's
it's more of
look
a.
at it.
Do you think more
Let's
money
fi-
making or
let's
more
find
of?
out. Let's take a few
impact?
examples. Let's take a few examples. Okay. Let's do a smaller, kind of on the cusp example. Let's take Bruce Willis, who we all know
Supreme
is a huge
badass.
action star. Yes, and he started out, you know, with tough guy action star with the whole Die Hard series.
Yes.
You know, and that's what started him. He went on to do a lot of other tough guy roles.
Right.
So, but so let's just take Bruce Willis and let's go with Die Hard, and let's turn around and go with Wesley Snipes, who is more known for his martial arts work.
Yeah.
And let's take it to a movie that uses a little bit of both. And I mean, because I don't want to go with like Passenger 57, because that was a good movie, but
I would lean more towards like Blade or some shit like that, where he's
you
like
can't
laying it thick.
compare it to Blade. So maybe we do that. Maybe we compare the figures of what Blade made versus the figures of what the original Die Hard movie made.
Okay,
Let's look that up.
Let me see.
See if we can find it. Because remember, the appeal here is one is just a tough guy. The other guy is a martial arts vampire. But you know what I mean? So it's got some fantasy involved, but they both do on many levels.
No. A martial arts vampire. God damn, I would love to be in the pitch room for that one. Like, you don't understand, dude. It's a martial arts vampire. We got this. What am I looking for? What was What was
What are we looking for? Just like put, I don't know, maybe what? How much?
Blade grossed $7 million at the U.S. box office and 131.2 worldwide. Here's the problem we have with this. If we're looking at grosses, we also have to consider Blade was made in 98, and when was Enter the Dragon made? So the gross won't really be.
No, we're not looking at Enter the Dragon. For this, we're looking at Die Hard.
Okay, so
a lot
I think that
closer
would still,
timeline.
yeah, that's true. What? I'm afraid to. Okay, there we go.
There's the franchise, but we want to see what the first movie did. Because I don't know if the
Die
is the other
Hard
one-
production budget was 280 or 28 million. Worldwide was 130. Okay, so 139 million dollars worldwide. That was 10 years, literally. Oh, it was 10 years because didn't I say Blade was 98? Yeah,
So-
Blade was 98 and Die Hard was in 88. So 10 years prior. Fucking almost to the day. About a month before. And we have Die Hard kicks Blade's ass by $8 million.
Wow.
So that actually speaks a lot for Die Hard versus Blade. And just Die Hard in just Die Hard in general, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I didn't think Die Hard did that well. Holy shit.
It was a big hit.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You know?
It's a classic. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think the action movies probably take priority over the martial arts movies. Because some people just don't like that kind of crap. They just want to see stuff blow up and, you know. They have 9 Fast and the Furious movies. How much martial arts is in it?
Probably a little bit, but yeah, not.
But it's
very
not a
much,
martial arts
no.
movie. It's damn sure a.
No,
I mean,
it's
they've
not.
jumped the shark at this point, but I mean, it's overall just an action
No.
and a badass movie.
Yeah, there's been so many different tough guy roles and tough guy actors, and
What to you, like,
anywhere.
if you look in your past, and what is the first movie that comes to your mind? Like, that's the movie where I was like, that's a badass.
The first movie,
Yeah, the
ever?
one that you can think. No, for your personal history, not like in
well,
general.
that I can remember.
Yes,
right?
yeah, not in like in your past. Like, what's the movie that?
Well, yeah, of course. It's not going to be in somebody else's.
No. What I mean is that I wasn't asking like which one do you think in movie history was the one. I was just meaning for you personally.
No, yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. So I'm trying to think of. No, I think the answer is pretty easy. I mean, if I would take away from the superhero comics and stuff like that, the comic books that I would read and collect as a very young child.
Yeah, I don't think comic books should be in the list. Those are superhero things are its own thing. They're not
Definitely,
they're badass, but they're not badass movies, like that kind of thing, like we're saying.
But I don't know, man. I have to say that I think it was a TV show that got me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But I mean, there were movies for sure.
What was the TV show?
Well, I mean, it was a long freaking time ago. The $6 Million Man.
Steve Austin, astronaut, a man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Okay, I thought the $6 Million Man was the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Okay, for a long time.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I mean? I idolized him, man. I got the freaking action figure and everything. And so it's like, I was very young, you know what I mean? And so it was like, but those are the kind of things and he didn't do martial arts.
Yeah.
But later on, I was like really into the martial arts, and Bruce Lee was huge, and everybody was trying to mimic Bruce Lee, and everybody was trying to be the next Bruce Lee. And there's a lot of movies and a lot of actors coming out, But I do remember the standouts, and obviously for me, the standouts in the martial arts movies, for a long time, obviously Chuck Norris. That's you say, why Chuck Norris and the jokes? Well, that's why, because Chuck Norris, like, he carved out a career, man.
Yeah, he does go far back with Bruce Lee. Like, he was.
Yeah, there was a time where Chuck Norris was the dude. You know what I mean? Like, Good Guys Wear Black and Eye for an Eye and Octagon. I mean, there were just a ton of movies, Missing in Action movies. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, here he comes!"
Dude, would that make him kind of a badass though? Because he was. I mean, obviously, all martial arts are badass, but which is Chuck Norris? Because he was known for his karate, but was Delta Force a karate movie? And he made 3 of those.
Well, that's the thing that all of them do, though, man, in these movies. I mean, I was going to say, I do mainly see, I will agree with you on that. As far as martial artists that are action stars, Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris, in my opinion, did the most with the guns.
Right. Yeah, Steven Seagal did a lot of posing around the, walking around the corners and looking cool.
A lot of shooting stuff. And,
well, I'm sure they didn't want Steven Seagal to run too much. Have you seen him run? They were like, nah, let's keep close quarter combat with Steven.
Yeah, Steven was, see, the one thing about Steven, and I'm going to be honest about this, and some people are not, maybe they won't like my opinion on this, but I just think that it's just human nature. I think that when people go to see a comedy, they don't care what people look like in it for the most part.
Yeah.
but when people go see an action film, it'd be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
getting a porno and there's people that are incredibly unattractive on it, and that's it.
Like current Ron Jeremy.
Yeah. Yo. Whoa.
Dude,
Damn.
I'm sorry. I mean, all respect to his history, I'm sure, but he was kind of
That is one
let's be real.
fugly
Look, full
motherfucker.
disclosure in our behind the scenes, we do a lot of things in LA, and me and my friend here, wait, where are you? You're that way. Me and my friend here may or may not have run into Ron Jeremy at a club in Los Angeles, like pretty close to when shit went down. And I will say he was less than in a satisfactory condition. Let's just say that. I mean, he wasn't doing too well.
Every time we went over there, we saw him, and he was less.
Yeah,
than
but
satisfactory.
usually when he's having a good time is one thing, but when he was that fucked up, like I was worried about him at one point, but you know, and I am not pointing fingers. I'm not making nanny boo-boos or anything like that. I'm just stating fact. Like, I'm just saying he wasn't, I'm just saying he was using him as an example. He wasn't the best looking dude when we saw him last. That's all I was saying. Fuck.
He's never been the best looking guy.
No, that's true. That's true.
And
he was
by
known
no
for his
means
hog.
Has he ever been mistaken for a tough guy? So, but that's what I was going to say.
That's
is
true.
For the most part, you got to look the part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the reason Ron Jeremy had his success is he had the part.
He looked
You know what I mean?
exactly. He
didn't
not only
look
looked
the part, he had the part. You know what I mean? That's the part everybody cared about for the business he got into. And it would be the same thing with the tough guy. It'd be like the martial arts, and you know, you can't kick past a dwarf's head or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
true.
mean?
That's
People
true.
are gonna be like, dude, we got a guy that can kick a freaking 8-foot giant. You know what I mean? And you're over here like barely getting 2 feet. Anyways. No, you gotta look the part when you play a tough guy.
Have you
And
seen Napoleon Dynamite?
No.
Oh,
well,
God,
actually, I have. But
It just reminded me of that dude with the American flag pants talking about all the shit he was gonna do. The Rex Kwando.
After 1 week with me in my dojo, you'll be prepared to defend yourself with the strength of a grizzly, the reflexes of a puma, and the wisdom of a man. Come down today for your free trial lesson.
Do you like Kurt Russell?
Oh, I love Kurt Russell, dude. I fucking love Kurt
Is he-
Russell. He's one of my
Isn't he
favorite
one
actors.
Of the best?
Yeah.
He's one of the best actors, man, dude. I swear, that guy. And the thing is he can pull off a tough guy. I think he makes our list for tough guys for sure.
Absolutely. He's one of the top. Okay, so let's break it down like this. Let's try and, like, in our opinion, who the best tough guy and who the best martial arts guy is.
Okay. Starting off with the first tough guy.
Starting
Who's
off with the
best
first tough guy. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's.
yeah. Well, Van
you
Damme
know-
right now is holding top slot for tough guy because we've talked about Van Damme and we've talked about Segal. And I would put Van Damme over Segal.
No, but we should separate tough guy versus martial artist tough guy. There's two different kinds of tough guy.
Well, there's
There's a tough
martial
guy that
artists
can just
and then
break-
there's badass.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Right.
so we should have the top martial artist and then we should have the top badass.
Right.
That's what I
So
think.
we're
We should.
starting out with what?
Let's do badasses first.
Okay.
So-
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
As
So,
far as badasses go,
yeah.
um,
And so far, disclaimer: if people haven't figured it out, we're probably gonna leave a lot of fucking people out. There's a ton of
we're gonna
badasses
leave
in
a
this
lot of
fucking
people
industry.
out. So let's make a top 5 list. of
Okay.
badasses.
That should be pretty.
And then,
Yeah.
Then we can single out who we think is number one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
randomly, let's go through a list of badasses.
Okay.
You
So
want to start?
my first idea of the badass, other than Kurt Russell, because we just talked about him. So Kurt Russell goes on the list as a badass.
Okay, Kurt Russell's on the list.
Obviously, I gotta go with well, they're both gonna be out there, either Stallone or Schwarzenegger. Let's go with Schwarzenegger. I mean,
Okay,
he was
Schwarzenegger.
a
I'll
monster
take
badass.
Stallone. And also, you take Schwarzenegger. I'll take Stallone.
Okay.
And also, since we already mentioned Kurt Russell and he's on the list, we also already mentioned Bruce Willis, so he should be on the list.
Oh, he should be on the list. That's true. Well,
Okay.
because if you
So
think
that
about it
leaves us-
too, yeah, because
Does that leave us one more? Is that where we're at? I don't know. That's. See, maybe it should
This
be
is
a
where it
top
gets
10 list
rough.
before we break it
Yeah.
down to like a top.
yeah,
3
this is where
or
it gets rough. So we have
I don't
Burt,
know.
we have Kurt Russell, Bruce Willis.
Russell.
Burt Russell.
Sorry.
Well, shit. Oh, Burt Reynolds. Was he a badass?
Burt Reynolds is a
I was gonna say,
badass
was
too.
Burt Reynolds a badass? God damn it.
Damn it.
Too many
You just
badasses.
opened up a
I'm
fucking
sorry.
can of
I'm
worms,
sorry.
dude.
Okay, wait. We're
No,
not
but
adding
you know
Burt
what?
Reynolds because Burt Reynolds. Because I say so. Because here's why. Because there's too many badasses that have a ton of movies for being badasses, and Burt Reynolds was. You know what I mean? Burt Reynolds has a well-rounded career. Like.
Okay, well, we got to kind of include Mel Gibson because he played a lot of badass roles. I mean, Lethal Weapon,
Yeah,
Mad
he was
Max,
Riggs,
just to name a few.
Fucking Mad Max
you
was
know?
hardcore. Yeah. Yeah, he was Braveheart.
Braveheart, oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he was a badass in all of his movies, pretty
You
much.
know what I mean?
Yeah. We have to add him.
So,
I gotta write these down or something, or I'm gonna forget.
Clint Eastwood, did we already mention him?
Ooh, no, we did not. Clint Eastwood. He's a
And
badass.
Charles Bronson. Are you kidding me? Okay. I would say Arnold, Sly, Gibson, Willis, Russell, Eastwood, Bronson, and
Okay, you went real fast. Arnold, Sly, Gibson, Willis, Eastwood,
Bronson.
Bronson.
You know what?
You know, there's people right now listening, screaming at their screens, going, "You better say this name, motherfucker." I'm not gonna say
Well,
it.
for sure. And I'm not really, you know, this is not easy, man. There's a lot of tough guys.
Well, we
A lot
have
of tough
6 right
guys.
now. We've listed 6.
And I'm just trying to think because I was thinking, well, tough guys. Well, I guess Danny Trejo would count, right? So I don't know. But
He would count, but in terms of the list that we're looking at, his badass,
right, he's not like the
he's
star.
not
of all
quite
these
making this list in terms of who we're.
guys are like, yeah, gotcha.
I don't know though. I
Gotcha.
didn't follow Bronson enough to know all of the shit he did.
Yeah.
Arnold,
Well-
Sly, Gibson. Who else did some really bad? Like Rambo, fucking.
Well, but that's all Stallone.
No, I know. I'm just
So,
kind of like Terminator, Rambo. I'm kind of going through. What about?
like thinking about just the
dude,
tough guys.
if we're
But
thinking
Eastwood
tough-
is definitely up there.
Yep.
Mm.
What about Danny Glover? Because he
I
was in
mean-
Predator. He was in Lethal Weapon. He
Yeah.
did.
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not as
but
big though.
He doesn't play the as an aggressive role
Harrison Ford.
usually. Harrison Ford.
He was Indiana Jones. He was Decker in. He was an adventure guy, but was he a badass?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but Han Solo wasn't. Is not that kind of badass though. Han Solo was more of a swashbuckler. He was a scoundrel. He's pretty
I
badass.
know. So, I mean, we including guys that are badasses and have done some stuff, or are we just including people that were badasses and have done major?
That's what
motion
I'm
pic-
trying to do. Like the notable badasses. Like Bruce Willis is a notable badass. Fucking Die Hard, you're done. You've done the notable badass shit, you know. Like I'm trying to find those core. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Because I was like thinking Mr. T, because he did the Rocky movie. That was
18
big.
was huge.
He did 18.
And they were all
that
badasses
was
in
huge.
18.
He was all badass, you know, it was all badass stuff.
Dude, he was literally badass. He was B.A. Baracus, which stood for fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And he was an actual tough guy champion. You know, he won
Oh, I forgot about that's true.
tough guy tournaments before he became an actor.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, then we got to put Mr. T just on the sheer fact that he's like legit, not only a tough guy, but he made it as a tough guy on TV. That's got to count for something.
yeah, for sure.
Well, then if that's
For
the
sure.
case, we got to put The Rock on there.
Yeah, The Rock. For
I
sure.
mean, he's freaking. I don't know though. Here's my question, and this is just thinking because of look at who we've put on these lists. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. These people are like. I mean, The Rock has been a wrestler his entire life, so I guess that counts as pretty badass. But do we count his wrestling career as part of his badass resume, or are we just talking strictly movies?
Well, I think everything should count.
Because he's
the
on the
dude
he's
did a
in the
TV
spotlight.
show and he was a badass or whatever.
Yeah,
then it should count. But
Okay, so The Rock, we'll put The Rock.
well, I mean, there's so many more that we're probably missing, and of course, if you guys can think of any, leave comments by all means.
Yeah, who was your favorites? Because we'll continue the discussion for sure. In fact,
yeah,
what
we'll
I'll do?
talk
I'll
about it.
actually start the discussion in the comments. Check the comments below. I'll start the discussion. Who was your favorite badass? Who was your favorite martial artist? Okay, so let's just stop there because, dude, we could do this. I've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8. Let's stop at 8. Because, like I said, we could be here. We could continue this and debate it the whole time. Let's jump in and do 8 martial arts guys.
Okay, sounds good.
So obviously Van Damme.
Van Damme. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Van Damme.
Wait,
is
right now this is
definitely-
in no particular order. We're just getting names.
Yeah, no particular order. Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris, Jackie Chan. I mean, jeez, doesn't get.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Lee.
Oh, Bruce Lee, of course.
If we
Yeah.
didn't add that, I'd shoot myself in the face.
Almost goes
with
without saying.
a
Jet
beer
Li.
gun.
Jet Li. I think we mentioned him earlier. Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes is actually a badass in terms of
he
his
is,
martial arts
absolutely.
skills. So if I can make it even more confusing.
And I would definitely add Jeff Speakman in that list.
You would add Jeff Speakman to the list of greats after one movie?
Well, he didn't exactly just do one movie, but
What did he do?
yeah, he's actually. Why don't we look him up real quick?
Okay.
Because, I mean, I don't know, but I'm almost positive he's done close to about a dozen.
He kind of looks like Alex Jones.
He didn't hold on too well.
Okay, let's see. American martial arts actor Kenpo.
Yeah, it was Kempo Karate. But yeah, I think if you just go to movies, is there a thing
Yeah, I'll
where it
check his
just says
internet
movies?
movie database.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to do that.
I'm pretty sure he made like really close to a dozen movies.
I didn't know he was in Lionheart with Van Damme. Oh, yeah, he's been in for a while.
He was just coming up during that time, so he's probably one of the fighters.
Oh, dude, he acted all the way up to 2006. The Gunman, Night Terror, Blades of the Sun, Hot Boys, Running Red, VIP. Oh, that's a TV
So am I
series.
right? Is there about a dozen?
Actually, it says acting credits is 21. He's actually done 21 movies. Perfect Weapon was after Lionheart, so he was a mansion security guard apparently in Lionheart, and then he got his own gig. That's weird. Street Night, The Expert.
Street Night was actually decent.
Was it? I haven't seen that.
And The Expert wasn't bad either. I followed up on his stuff because I really liked The Perfect Weapon. So I don't remember if I saw Deadly Outbreak or not, but it sounds familiar.
That does sound familiar. Time Lock, Plato's Run, Escape from Atlantis, Scorpio 1. Wait, here we go, dude. Favorite martial artist, Masters Martial Arts. Right there, do that one. Cynthia Rothrock was freaking awesome.
Yeah, she did a lot of stuff too. I forgot about her, man.
Yeah, she was in a ton of movies. I used to watch her a ton.
Well,
Bruce
I mean,
Lee.
if you start thinking of a bit, well, not the bit actors, but because she wasn't a bit actor, but she was usually kind of like a lead actress.
She was in a lot of grade movies, but she kicked ass.
Yeah, she absolutely did. But you think about, like Bolo Young. How come he never went on to have like a career doing the opposite? Because Van Damme started out as a bad guy. So why didn't Bolo Young?
I would love to know honestly what
his chest was too big.
But Bolo Young was cool, man. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, he was always playing a badass. I wonder what was that? I wonder what his name was. I mean, he was always like the heavy. He was always a bad guy, literally, like always.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played a good guy in his whole career. He was really big. I don't know what his descent actually is, his heritage is, but he's a really big Asian guy. He's like, I think he was in The Perfect Weapon. Excuse me, with Jeff Speakman.
Let's see.
I think he's the guy that he gets into a fight with at the very end of the movie.
Dude, now that you say that, it sounds very, very familiar. It's been forever since I've seen
He's
The Perfect Weapon.
like a really big dude that's just so big that you could hit him as much as you want and it doesn't hurt him. And I've seen him in movies with Chuck Norris. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a scene where Jeff Speakman's brother, the actor that plays his brother, hits him with like a stun gun, one of the ones that shoot out.
Right.
And it doesn't do it for him. So he hits him again and it takes him down. But then later on, like he messes up the cops in the cop car and it flips over or whatever and he gets away. So at the end, there's a fight scene with him and Jeff Speakman. They've got like ships and stuff like that. And he's at the dock and he goes to take out these bad guys. And
oh, dude, this is what we got to do right here. Hang on. Let me bring this up because you're going to appreciate this. Watch this, people. Boom. Perfect Weapon. Best scenes.
Okay.
Let's check this out. I don't think I can play the sound on this because they'll YouTube us. So we'll have to check this out in silence. Hey, little kids, punch each other in the face. All right. Let me see if I can find the guy because I don't want to sit and watch 12 minutes of this. But if you said it's towards the end, let's just.
Best scene.
This
there
dude,
he is.
that dude right there.
He is. Yep. Go back a little bit more, actually, because he's about to show you how strong he is. Watch. Here we go.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, that guy too. Yes, I love that guy.
That guy's been in a million movies too.
Yeah. He was in Mortal Kombat. He was in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
That's right. There he is.
Yeah.
What's this guy's name? We got to find out.
Wait, isn't that Professor Tanaka?
Because he always plays this like...
The wrestler, right? The wrestler guy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Professor Tanaka. That's the guy who played... Yeah. Totally. Those kicks do not faze me.
Seriously, he always plays this dude that just never gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
He just manhandles him. He's ring around to Rosie him into the cans of danger.
Which is a funny and look at this, very interesting point that you brought up. He just manhandles him. So, and then, the thing you read earlier about Van Damme.
Yeah.
You got to wonder, man, how much punishment do these actors, these stunt guys take when they're shooting these films with these martial arts actors or whatever? Because I heard Steven Seagal gets really rough.
Oh, really?
I heard he doesn't pull his punches at all.
But see, to me, that's like, I don't know, dude. That's like a dick move. They're acting and trying to get the shot while you're hitting somebody. To me, like,
yeah.
Unless
I
guys
understand you want to make it look super legit, so nobody goes, "Oh, look like they're pulling their punches quite a bit there." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, amateurs will do that. B movie makers will do that. They'll hire people and they won't hire stunt coordinators to come in and coordinate the fight scenes and make sure that they're really legit looking.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot to get a really good fight scene down, especially these long, extravagant fight scenes, man. You can't just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
you're just not like, action, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Oh, take it away, impressive. Come on, that's your job, isn't it?
Do your little kicks and hi-yas.
Right? I want to see eyeballs flying all over the place. I've heard a lot of rumors and I've seen interviews with stuntmen and people that have worked with some of these actors. Von Damme is one of the guys that they say has done it as well.
Yeah.
So between Steven Seagal and Von Damme, there's a lot of talk that they were really rough. You know, I haven't heard anything about Chuck Norris. And then we go to the other side because Sylvester Stallone is not really a martial artist. I mean, he may know the martial arts. I don't know.
I'm
But-
sure he knows some, but that dude's out of his fucking mind. He let Dolph Lundgren tee off on his ass and break one of his ribs.
And that's what I mean. He got probably hurt more than anybody else in the movies that he was in.
Yeah.
Because he was just like all about catching the realism, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he did a lot of his own stunts. But yeah, we got to give him a lot of credit, man. Stallone has got to be at the top of the list
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. He's got to be up there.
And Schwarzenegger as well. I mean, you know, I mean,
Okay, so here's one that I have to throw in there, and I'm torn. But Tom Cruise kind of exemplifies badass too in terms of the movies and in terms of doing his own stunts and making sure to get the shot and all of that shit. So if we're gonna take the fact that Stallone literally told Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, here, just hit me in the sternum, and he like collapsed a lung or some shit like that in Rocky IV, then I mean, Tom Cruise legit.
it was probably an accident.
No, it was an accident, but he told them they told them to get physical. Like they were legitimately
right,
getting
okay.
physical for the shots. You know, he didn't mean to collapse his lung, obviously, but you know, but if we're going to take those into considerations, then we got to take into consideration, like, you know, Tom Cruise launched his crazy ass off the top of a building and broke his ankle because he missed. Like that's legit, you know. So that's got to be pretty badass.
Well, him and Jackie Chan kind of remind me of each other in that sense because Jackie Chan did a lot of crazy stunts. of
He's
his own.
insane. And then all of his movies, the credits are the outtakes of when he got it fucked up or almost died during him doing the stunts. I don't know how his insurance or anybody cast him. You would think like the insurance for those movies would be like, we're not going to insure this with him. He won't be dead.
Well, you would imagine that. Yeah, exactly. That's because all these guys have stunt doubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even some of the most badass dudes that you can think of have a stunt double.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's what they get paid for. They're insured for that kind of thing. If something goes wrong, you know what I mean? It's covered. That's their job. The actor, on the other hand, has to stay alive to finish the film, you know?
Well, I remember when Jackie Chan did, I think it was Rumble in the Bronx. There's a scene where he launches himself off and lands on a boat or a submarine or something.
Yeah.
And completely
his ankle or
blows his
something.
ankle out. And they have to make a shoe that looks like a tennis shoe to go around his cast so he can take another take.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
There's a fine line between badass and insanity, I guess. Because what the fuck, dude?
Well, I think, I don't know. At the end of the day, these actors can convince these directors that, and you know, whoever's in charge, the production crew and the producer and executive producer, they're going to be like, no, you can't do that. It's too dangerous, and there's no way. But these actors, they have a way of getting their way. You know what I mean? They want to make things. Think about all the actors out there that are method actors. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so this gets a little bit off topic of Tough Guy, but think about God, now I can't think of his name, bro. You're gonna have to help me out.
Daniel Day-Lewis?
No, not Daniel Day-Lewis. The actor, I want to say his name is Christopher
Walken?
No.
Okay.
He played Batman.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Oh my God, the machinist, the mechanic. What is it?
Machinist.
Oh my God, dude.
I think it. Yeah, I think it's the machinist.
I think it's the machinist.
Anyways, but I mean, the guy goes.
He could have died.
You know what I mean? And think about the kind of physique he had, both in Batman. What was that movie? He did American Psycho. Yep. You know, amazing physique in that movie. But then he he turned into a skeleton.
Yeah, absolutely emaciated himself.
For that movie. And it reminds me a lot of Joaquin Phoenix and what he did for the Joker. But those got method actors, man. That's something else.
Yeah,
man.
method actors
what I
kind of
mean?
take another form of badass.
Yeah.
Because like some of them get
they
a
do.
little
I
crazy,
agree.
but to be able to, I mean, whether you feel like you have to or not, to take that commitment and just run with it and go, I don't give a fuck. I guess I think Brad Pitt did that when they did the movie where he was I started to say Spartacus, but that ain't it. Achilles, when they did the Trojan movie with Eric Bana, I can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about. They said he did that. He just would go off. He went and had his own tent and lived up in the tent like one of the Trojans, and like he went hard to the paint with it, you know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is it necessary?
Some of these guys do, man. You know?
Yeah.
Well, some of the best actors in the world do go hard to the paint, as you say.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
What I mean? Think about Robert De Niro. I mean, he's one of the best
Badass
actors
in his own right.
Think about, he's a badass. He really is. Raging Bull. Think about all the stuff he's done. I mean, he actually gained weight for the part at the end. And he also, lost, got in fantastic physical condition for the rest of the movie where he played the boxer.
Yeah.
When he was in the boxing stages of his life. And he's done so many other things. Cape Fear. Look how good shape he got in for that movie, But he's always been that way. When he did that movie with Stallone, as old as he was, the both of them. Got to take your hat off, man. Those guys are old men now, and they're still able to get in phenomenal shape. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, what were we talking about?
I think the conclusion we come to is both martial arts and badasses kind of go hand in hand, because I don't know that we can come to a conclusion of who the best one is.
Yeah. Well, let's throw it out there. Let's pick two from each category or three from each category, and let's try to narrow it down. Okay, let's take the top of the tough guys, the ones that aren't really martial arts based.
Okay. So for sure I would have to go Arnold for sure.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's what I was just going to ask. Would you agree, Arnold? Okay. Who would you say is next? I'm going to say Sly.
And we're talking in order now? Like straight up order?
Well,
or just in general top three that we haven't
throwing
put in
up through what we're throwing.
I would
we're
say
allowed
Sly.
three.
Yeah, I'll say Sly for sure.
So we're only allowed one more.
Okay. So yeah, but Arnold and Sly are kind of no-brainers. Right. That coveted third spot though.
It's tough because a lot of the ones that kind of would have made that spot are martial arts based.
Yeah.
So
well, then if that's the case, so then we could narrow it down to
dude, I would say there's a guy that does fit that description.
Which is?
Although I'd love to give it to Charles Bronson because my wife is a huge fan and I also love his work. I would have to say Clint Eastwood did a lot more tough guy stuff. And he deserves the spot.
Yeah, he did a lot of tough guy shit. He still's doing tough guy shit.
Yeah.
Like honestly. He really is. I mean, if you think about it, he really is doing just a ton of tough guy shit.
Well, it's been a hot minute since that Gran Torino movie, but
he's like $1 billion now.
Yeah.
But the last movie I remember him doing was like, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, that's that movie.
Yeah. So the badasses are done. Martial arts guys. We can't not put Van Damme there. We already touted him and talked about him. And
he's got to be there.
He's got to be in there.
And I'm gonna say this. I think Segal has to take a spot too. I really do. Do you disagree or?
No, I can't disagree. Just because, like, I also think about like the impact he had. Well, I mean, personally on my childhood, and that's what we're talking about.
It's either him or Chuck Norris because for 100% for sure we have to put Bruce in there.
I'm going to argue Chuck because here's the reason. Chuck Norris not only had Delta Force and that series and stuff that he was doing, he was also in Expendables for however many, I don't know, but he was also Walker Texas Ranger. And he was Walker Texas Ranger for a really long fucking time. And in that movie or that show,
pick him because the name is
no, not because the same. But think about this: he was how long did that show go? And that entire show was based on him just roundhouse and kicking motherfuckers in the face. So it was like even he made a Western karate movie or show.
Okay.
So that's why I'm arguing
So
Norris.
he
You don't have to
makes-
agree. I'm just saying, do you think so, or do you think Segal in his career?
Well, I mean, technically, I guess Norris. I don't know. See, I don't even know the stats on that. Did Norris make more movies? Did Norris who had more hits? I know my favorite Segal movie. I'm not really sure what my favorite Norris movie is.
I'm not gonna lie. I know Chuck Norris more for Walker Texas Ranger than his movies. I mean, I know he was in Delta Force, but well, he had 3 of those movies. I know, but I mean, like when you ask me Chuck Norris movies, my first brain just goes Delta Force.
Well, he's known a lot for. Well, he is known for Delta Force. That's true, but he's known a lot for the Missing in Action films.
Missing in Action. Why couldn't I think of those either? God damn it.
Yeah, and then.
Oh, well then, dude, he has to take over because Segal does not have as many movies and TV career that Norris has.
Segal doesn't have, I will say one thing. Segal doesn't have any, what do they call it? When there's sequels.
Yeah. Like a series. He doesn't have a
chain or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have a chain of movies that are all
franchise. He doesn't have a franchise.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. He doesn't have a franchise. So yeah. And that's the thing is if you go to the tough guy movies, a lot of those guys do. Stallone has at least 2 franchises because Rocky and Rambo had sequels.
And Expendables.
Expendables
Yep.
is another one.
Yep.
You know. What did Arnold?
Arnold did Terminator.
Well, he did Terminator that had sequels.
He did Conan.
Conan had sequels.
There's
something else that we're missing.
I know people are screaming right now. People, it's late. Okay, just.
But and then Clint Eastwood, he did because he had the Any Which Way But Loose movies
and the Dirty Harry movies.
And the Dirty Harry movies. That's right.
Yep.
There you go.
And he was in Paint Your Wagon, and he sang in that movie, and you can't knock him for that.
I tell you my dreams, and while you're listening to me, I suddenly see them come true.
Well, and then let's be real. He was the king of spaghetti westerns, and that was a franchise into itself.
Okay, so we got way off track.
Yeah,
so
we're doing that. We're nailing it.
So you think Chuck Norris over Steven Seagal because we're saying Van Damme's on the list already.
Yep.
I'm saying Bruce Lee has to make the
be.
list.
Has to be.
And now we've got the choice between, in our opinion, the next top 2 legendary status martial arts movie actors.
Right.
Would be Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal. Which one do you guys think? Write it in the comment section. Let us know. What do you say, bro? Heads or tails, or what? How do you want to decide this? Because I think Seagal over Norris, even though Norris does.
Well, then we'll put them in together. We'll call them a wild
status.
card. They both go in.
So they're gonna both fit in there. Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Then,
like I said, I'm okay with it because
maybe we should pick one more tough guy then to make it even.
Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. Because
did we keep? So it was Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Eastwood.
Right.
Who else should we give it to? Should we give it to? Shit, man.
I would say give it to either The Rock or to Bruce Willis.
Wow, that's a tough one.
And this, of course, is from just the list of people we wrote down. There's a ton of. This is why these kind of conversations go down rabbit holes because there's so many.
I guess we have to give it to The Rock, huh? He's kind of a bigger.
Just because of his sheer history. You know, he's just of his sheer history. You know, he did how many years in the WWF or WWE, and that was constant touring, constant shows. the whole 9
Yeah.
and then he became a monster
Dude had to stay in
superstar.
shape the whole time, you know. Yeah.
He's legitimately a king, by the way. Last time I heard of some place in the islands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and apparently 46% of America would vote for him for president. So
Yeah, it's popular. Okay, so there we go. All right, so let's start off with who do you think is one of the baddest motherfuckers amongst the tough guys? Who do you think is the top guy amongst those four?
for movie wise or
There's-
just in general, I'm talking strictly for the movies.
Yeah, strictly in the movies. We're not going to take away from their personas in the movies.
No.
So you have to look at it from that viewpoint. Who knows what they would do in real life?
For me personally, I'm going to give it. I choose for my vote Arnold, and because I completely left out Predator. I forgot about the whole Predator movie. So I would choose Arnold. Fuck.
Yeah,
But I
he
grew
wasn't
up on
in the
Rocky,
sequels.
dude. Yeah, and Rocky was in the sequels.
Yeah.
All the way up to Creed, man. He's going all the way up through another franchise.
That's a tough one, man. I'm going to call it a draw. That's what I'm going to call
You think?
it. I think that those guys are a draw. I can't give it to you.
How do you ooh.
I really can't.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
You know.
I
If you
will
asked me,
I will step outside of the draw if I have to. I'm gonna remove my original vote because now that I think about it, I'm gonna step outside. If I have to choose, I will choose Sly. I'll choose Stallone because all of Rocky he was in 2 of the Creeds, which means he started a whole nother franchise based on a character he created. So that's badass into itself. And then he created Expendables. So all of that was him. That's badass.
it's hard to say for me, dude. Because Arnold's been in some movies that are so epic, it's ridiculous.
100%. He was in the
So, I don't
Conan
know.
movies.
Well, anyway, getting back to it, I would
Yeah.
say probably we can go with Stallone
Okay.
as the top guy there, and I think I guess we would agree. Those two are the top.
Oh
right?
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get down to fandom, that's when it comes down to it. Because as a fan, I don't want to choose because they had an equal effect on me as a kid and what I love to watch. But if we're gonna get down to careers and shit, I would say that I would say personally that Stallone had more of an impact on movies and everything because of all the franchises he's done and all the movies he's written and
He's done so much stuff, man.
yeah, and it's not just. I mean, I'm not shitting on Arnold, obviously, but if you think of Stallone's stuff stuck. I mean, all of the freaking Rockies, all of that, it's stood the test of time to mean something. I mean, go back in the history of this podcast. We talked to Steve Santini. We talked to your cousin. We talked to quite a few people on this podcast about what Rocky meant to him and how it kind of formed us coming up.
Yeah. Exactly. They really did.
I like Arnold and I like trying to make the accent, but really Stallone's art has inspired me and has actually molded me to a certain way.
I gotta say too, I do think that the size of the characters physically does have a little bit of an impact for me.
Yeah.
More so, not so much that, obviously I'm not a big man. I'm not a large man. But it's not really about that for me. It's more about the fact that I think most people would expect a really big man like Arnold to be a powerful person,
Right.
to be a tough guy for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the dude's 6'4", you know what I mean? He's incredibly built and he's got to weigh over 200 pounds easily. You know what I mean? So it's easy to fit him into that character, into that position. I've always said the same thing about Steven Seagal. He's 6'4". He's a tall guy. He's a big guy. You know what I mean? He's not muscular like Arnold, but he's a big guy all around. You know what I mean? So he can push his weight around. You know what I mean?
Right.
I bet you that guy could probably get away with not even using any martial arts and still look like a badass. Just because
I agree.
his leverage on its own could get. I've seen he's got long arms, dude. I could see him striking the person first because he's got much more reach. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not much different than watching like Lennox Lewis, take advantage of Mike Tyson with the reach.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
I think that came in handy. And so Arnold, he's got that going, all that size, that sheer mass. I think the fact that even though Stallone is equally as impressive with his build, he's not as massive. He doesn't come off as this huge man.
Yeah.
He comes off as
He's in great shape, but he's not a monster
in
build.
great shape, but he's not this huge man.
Yeah.
Think about what he was like in the sequel to First Blood, the Rambo movie. He was so thin.
That's true. That's true.
He was incredibly thin. I bet you he weighed under 170 pounds. I think he was probably maybe even under 165 in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just really, really, really cut, really defined.
And Arnold was always just a freak of nature in terms of his build and he was just a monster.
Exactly.
Of a man.
And he loved to have bigger guys be the enemy in the movie.
Yeah,
you know, like to have them be the bad guy, like Dolph Lundgren. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody had to be this menacing guy. And Mr. T was perfect for that, which he made our list of tough guys.
Of course, yeah. What about the fucking martial arts side though?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. He said,
did we pick our three? Because we got Bruce Lee, we got Van Damme. So...
I would say that it's very close for me.
Wait, we already said that. That's why we picked the fourth action guy. We said Van Damme. Yeah, we're going back. We've already done the martial art guys.
Well, no, we got those.
Yeah.
Because you said Chuck Norris, I said Steven Seagal, and we agreed that they both should make the list.
Right.
So then that left us with Bruce Lee and Van Damme. So that's a tight list.
That's a tight list.
Who do you think is the top two in that list?
Oh, you son of a bitch. I still got to give number one to Bruce Lee. Even after all this time.
Bruce Lee takes number one.
The Dragon takes top spot. I got to give it to him.
Okay, so if Bruce Lee takes number one for you, then where does that put Seagal in comparison to Chuck Norris, let's say? Let's make it interesting. Because I could have easily said Van Damme, but a lot of people have made that comparison.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard too many people compare, what would it be like if those two fought?
Seagal and Norris?
Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about that. More people are like, what about Van Damme? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like to see the splits. Yeah, I don't know, because Seagal likes when, Seagal is always sitting there and being like, rush me, and I'm waiting, and I will counterattack and break your face. What's Chuck Norris's main style? Like, I know he's a karate guy, but like, I don't think I've ever sat and really analyzed his fighting style.
Well, I don't know, but that was funny.
But that's how he does it, dude. Have you watched him recently? Like, whenever he does demonstrations, he tells the guy, he'll walk up and do this, and then he'll point at the guy's arm. He'll point at his arm, and the guy will go for his arm, and you went that way.
Who's Seagal?
Yeah,
will do that?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, his demonstrations, like, he'll point this way, and the guy will move something.
I need you to rush me.
Yeah, so he said, rush me.
I'm in the line at the post office.
It's like I walk around with a gun, and a guy jumps out, and then
and he does it just like that.
Yeah, he does.
That's how he runs. So he's all... So when he fights, he's all...
He does. It's going on. And it does. He has that, and especially if he has a knife, because if he has a knife, it's like...
Yeah, no, he does. He's got the little... Yeah, he's got the knife like in his, you know what I mean? Like right here. He's like it's just all, hey, yeah.
And he always does that.
And
He always puts this.
He always stabs the guy in the head, in the forehead, you know what I mean?
Dude, he straight up did that to Tommy Lee Jones in freaking
I know.
Under Siege. Spoilers. It's a great movie. But he's like, bam, and he catches him right there. And he tells him to keep the faith.
You gotta wonder if he like roughhouse Tommy Lee.
I don't think he did, because Tommy Lee Jones seems like the kind of guy who'd be like, nope, cut this. Get this bitch off my set. I hate him. Like he was always that no bullshit guy comes off.
But I will say this: if it was a contest of who's The ugliest, I would have to say Tommy Lee Jones. But because Tommy Lee Jones, I don't know if he's
Wait,
tough,
versus
but
who?
Definitely.
Like current Steven Seagal?
What? Why? Oh, that's right. Current Steven Seagal is like, he's not looking too good. But you know what?
His hair is phenomenally dyed.
To these guys, we could knock all these guys, but the truth is, they're old, man. They're not kids anymore. Like I was gonna give Steve, I was gonna give Sylvester Stallone a hard time because, he's starting to kind of look like Grandpa Munster these days. But honestly, you gotta love the guy, and he's in great shape. And I wish I could, hold a candle to that guy as far as what he's accomplished.
Hey, I am not gonna lie to kick it. I'm a big guy in my nature. You've known me a long time. I'm not thin, so I ain't talking shit to anybody. I wish I could have half his physique now that he ever had in his worst day. So I ain't talking shit on nobody when it comes to that.
That's the one thing that I would have to say about, okay, now that we're talking about this, if we're going to talk about the physique, Chuck Norris, you got to take your hat off to him.
Yeah.
He stayed in great shape his whole career.
Chuck Norris, total gym, man.
Yeah. Oh my the one God, dude now, though, that is a badass that we talked about that I agreed should make the list. And you said, okay, we'll split between him and Chuck. That who did not take care of himself physically was Steven Seagal.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to lose your hair, bro. And he did. You know what I mean? But he also he got out of shape quick.
Yeah.
I think by the second or third movie, he was already going downhill fast. You know what I mean? So
yeah, after
by his fifth movie. So it was
there was a movie he did where he was like helping the Native American people and he wore the beaded jacket. That was when it started.
Wasn't that Fire Down Below?
Fire Down Below, yes, that was
Fire Down Below. I got
Older knew she's heading for the river.
I hope there's a fire down below. No.
But that's when I think that's when it started.
About 10 pounds since I walked through the door. And that was only 3 seconds ago.
Fire Down Below. It's Taco Bell.
Yeah. His Fire Down Below started with Del Scorcho sauce. I can tell you that much.
He finished his burrito and set it down. He's like, I got an idea for a movie.
It starts
I'll
with
be right
Del
back.
Scorcho and L's with milk of magnesia.
Oh my God.
He's the kind of guy that on his way to the hospital would stop at the spaghetti factory or something,
Jesus
Christ. It's like,
hold on, I gotta grab a bite.
I can sense the large amount of chi in this building. Let's see if it tries to put its hands on me.
Hold
Is that a chicken dumpling?
I want to grab me a road sody.
Oh my God, we're having too much fun.
That's fucked up.
Okay, so we got to finish the cut. Who makes it?
Okay, in my opinion, top of the top, Sly, Bruce Lee. Those are the two tops for me, number ones. For all the reasons we said somewhere around the marks of time where we said it in this podcast, I say top of the top for me is Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Lee.
Okay. Wow, it's tough. That's a tough thing to argue right there, man. I gotta admit,
it's a rough one.
I could play devil's advocate.
Do it by all means.
I could play devil's advocate and say that, in my opinion.
Well, and that's my thing, though. That's for me personally. If you don't agree, don't agree. It's for like what it did for me and how it affected my childhood and how I grew up watching the movies. For me, Bruce Lee, Sylvester Stallone. Because I can't even tell you how many times I sat and watched like Enter the Dragon and all those movies either. So those are the two guys that I think, looking back, I'm like, yeah, those are the guys I got to go with for me.
Okay. Well, that being said, I guess that I would have to agree with you. I could play devil's advocate and say Arnold Schwarzenegger, and probably, in my opinion, because of the full package theory, Van Damme would make the cut as well.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Bruce Lee. I would say Bruce Lee and Van Damme. But that's real tight. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'd say Bruce Lee and Sylvester Stallone. But if I had to pick an alternate, I would say Arnold and Van Damme.
I agree.
Yeah. But right now, Steven Seagal is probably going to be just zoning out at home and have nothing better to do. So he'll go on the internet and he'll just happen to see this episode and he'll just go, these guys are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Sitting there with his peanut butter
number
sandwich.
one.
Yeah. Good. Lots happened since yesterday. Ain't that the truth? Let me click on that. See what that's about.
Why don't you try to touch me?
You guys may
And
think
then
I'm
we'll
big,
see what happens.
but
Since yesterday. Anyways.
I'll break your face faster than
Well,
yesterday.
that's our pick, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Lee comes out on top for Tough Guys versus Martial Artists. Let us know what you think.
Check it out.
Leave us a comment. And don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. And just spread the word.
Absolutely. We got more stuff coming up to you. We got more episodes of Listen to the Record. We've got more episodes of Radio God Reacts. We've got more guests coming. We've got tons of shit happening. You're not going to want to miss it. Subscribe, like the channel, spread the word. Do all of that stuff. Take care of yourself. Be good humans. We'll talk to you next time.
Take care, guys. We love you. Peace.